Добрый вечер. Сегодня среда, а значит, мы читаем сказку. И я решила, что пришло время читать классические произведения для детей. И, конечно, мы начнем с, наверное, одного из самых известных произведений, которое называется Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Ну, я думаю, вы уже догадались, как называется эта история по-русски. Это Белоснежка и 7 гномов. Эта история является народной, она была написана более 700 лет назад, но эта версия основана на вариации братьев Гримм, которая стала доступна читателю в начале 19 века. Ну и всем известно, что Уолт Дисней в 1937 году сделал его movie adaptation, да, то есть создал прекрасный мультик. И эта героиня, наверное, одна из самых любимых моих диснеевских принцесс и героинь. Ну что, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Поехали. Once upon a time, a king and queen had a beautiful baby girl. She had hair as black as night and skin as white as snow. So they named her Snow White. Soon after, the queen died and the king married again. The new queen was vain, with a cruel cold heart. Every morning she would gaze in her mirror and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror would always reply, "You are!" Until one dreadful day when it said, "Snow White." Snow White had become the prettiest, kindest girl in all the kingdom. The queen hated her. And the queen's jealousy grew until she summoned the royal huntsman. "Take Snow White to the forest," she snapped, "and leave her to die." The huntsman was horrified, but what could he do? "Run!" he begged Snow White. "Keep running until you find help." Heart thumping, legs pounding, Snow White ran. She ran through the night and into the dawn. At last, she came to the edge of the forest. There stood a curious little house. Snow White crept into it and knocked on the door. 7 dwarfs came rushing here. "Hello!" they said. "Welcome, come in, come in." Jiggling and jostling, they bustled her inside. Then they sat her down and Snow White told her tale. "That queen is wicked," they said with a shake of their heads. "Stay with us, we'll look after you." The next morning, the queen strode up to her mirror. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" "Snow White, of course," the mirror declared. "She's still alive?" screamed the queen. Almost bursting with age, she donned a disguise and hobbled through the forest. With a rat-a-tat-tat, she knocked at the door's door. So this is a queen. "Pretty ribbons for a pretty girl," she croaked, tying a sash around Snow White's waist, tie until Snow White gasped and collapsed on the floor. And there she stayed until the dwarfs found her. "Quick, quick, undo the sash!" they cried. "It must have been that evil queen." The next morning, the dwarfs set off for work. "Be careful," they told Snow White, "and don't try on any more sashes." Snow White was busy sewing when she heard a young girl call out, "Glittery combs for sale! Here, try one," said the girl, holding it up. but as Snow White placed it in her hair, she fell to the floor once more. Ha! Cackled the girl, turning into the queen. My poison comb will finish you, faggot! The dwarfs arrived just in time to snatch the comb away. When the mirror announced that Snow White was still the fairest of all, the queen was furious. I will get rid of her, she snarled, and she cast a terrible spell. Crispus apple, rosy red, just one bite and fall down dead. Disguised again, the queen returned to Snow White. Try my apple, she cooed. Snow White took a bite and dropped, lifeless to the ground. This time, the dwarfs couldn't help her. She's too lovely to bury, they sobbed, and placed her in a glass coffin. After a year, a day, a prince rode past. Entranced by her beauty, he swept her into his arms, and a piece of apple flew from her mouth. Oh, murmured the Snow White, opening her eyes. It was true love. Snow White and the prince married before the week was out, and all 7 dwarfs carried her train. And they lived happily ever after, of course. So, the most famous story about princess. Наверное, одна из самых известных историй принцесс со счастливым концом. Я надеюсь, она вам очень понравилась. И вы заметили, какие у нее были приключения. И даже не приключения, а злодеяния от злой королевы. Но, как всегда, в сказках все закончилось прекрасно. И Белоснежка встретила своего принца и жила с ним долго и счастливо. Читайте сказки на русском, на английском, присоединяйтесь к нам и ждите следующих прямых эфиров. Ставьте свои лайки, сердечки, комментируйте, шарьте это видео с друзьями. Мне будет очень приятно. Давайте обратную связь и пишите свои пожелания по поводу следующих историй. Жду обязательно, включу их в свой списочек. Ну что, хорошей вам среды, окончания среды. И до встречи в следующих прямых эфирах. Пока!